Hi, I'm Flair, and you're listening to Local Vibes.
Thank you so much for joining us, Flair. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So let's hear a little bit more about what you just performed.
So basically, some of my songs, one of them is written about a family member who died. So one of those means a lot to me. Two other ones, just kind of exaggerating, just kind of trying to be poetic, but my music means a lot to me, so I don't know, music's my purpose. I love all my songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long have you been making music for?
About like 8 years.
Yeah. And when did this start? Like, who were the early experiences, getting in the studio? Were there anybody in particular that kind of brought that side out of you, or was it just kind of come natural for you?
So my dad's a musician, so he kind of passed down a lot of recording equipment to me, so I kind of just fiddle around, and my brother as well. We messed around on like Logic and stuff, and it just kind of went from there.
Yeah. So did you get a lot of guidance when you were messing around on Logic, or was it just kind of like a pick up and go kind of deal?
No, it was kind of like a just pick up and go. We just messed around. It's super intriguing. My dad didn't really he kind of wanted me to figure out myself because that's kind of how he had to do it. So that's basically it. We just kind of messed around and went from there.
Yeah. So do you come from a family of musicians, or is it only
Yeah.
your dad, really?
Yeah, my mom used to sing commercials, and my dad's a musician. So, yeah.
Yeah. So it was only a matter of time before you started singing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your brother, does he help produce some of your discography, or what is that like when you guys are in the studio?
A tiny bit, yeah. A little bit, but mostly me. We collab a lot, though. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He makes his own stuff, too.
Sweet. And listening to your music, it gives this very like raw and authentic sound. It reminds me a lot of the 2016 SoundCloud like era. That gave the likes of like Lil Peep,
Yeah.
kind of a sound. So, was this kind of a inspiration for you when you started to make music?
Yeah, a little bit. I used to like Lil Peep. I used to listen to him a bit. I used to listen to XXX and Tentacion. But I'm mostly inspired just by like myself and all my friends. We all just kind of like go off of each other. So, but we're all on SoundCloud mostly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah.
So who are these friends? Who are these people that you make music with? And what do they kind of contribute to your sound?
They're basically like really old friends from elementary school or my brother, and we all grew up together making music in Minnetonka. And yeah, they're all just super talented people. My friend's teaching me how to play guitar right now. He just had a song go viral, which is dope. But yeah, I don't know, they're all just great people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sweet. And I guess today, like, are there any particular artists that you feel like are kind of keeping that scene alive, or do you think it's kind of gone and not really talked about too much anymore?
My friend Slide to My Crib, he's kind of pushing this wave in the underground. He's on SoundCloud. He's like 2,000 followers. He's from here as well. He's kind of pushing that, but we're trying to like push through like a threshold, trying to make it out, with the sound. So there's not anybody like too huge doing this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess, is there anybody prominent within the Minneapolis music scene that you kind of look up to or kind of look towards for another source of inspiration while creating your music?
I'd say my biggest inspiration is my friend Elijah Herkert. Like, if it's not me, but like, yeah, or this guy named Slide to My Crib. He's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what kind of components of their music do you try to put into your own?
I don't know. I'd say just put a lot of effort in. I like to put a lot of effort in because I see that they both put a lot of effort into their own music, and that's like always really nice to see. And be yourself. Don't try to like copy other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody has their own different creative process. Some people like to watch a horror movie. Some people like to eat some food or just kind of get in the mood, meditate. So what is this creative process for you like? What do you kind of do to get your head in the game when you're making music?
I usually like work out before and like just try to like clear my head because like I don't know if I'm in like a really bad mood, it's harder. But usually I like to like visualize a picture sometimes when I'm trying to like make a song, like a scene, or think of someone, or like just visualize
Yeah.
or hear
Okay.
it. Yeah.
And it's another form of poetry, right? This music thing. So was that difficult for you to initially put this pen and paper down into a song, or did it just kind of was it easy for you, or what was that like?
Um, it was kind of hard at first. I've always kind of hated writing lyrics, but like the first song I wrote, I remember like crumpling it up because I was like in fifth grade and I was like, this is so corny, bro. Like it was just like super cringe. But
Mhm.
like, yeah, I mean, it's pretty. It comes naturally now, but I'm still trying to get better.
Yeah.
So,
And you briefly touched on, paintings or photos that you try to put into words. Are there any ones that have more meaning to you or that are easier for you to kind of put into words than others?
mm. I have this painting of like a forest on my wall that I like to look at while I'm making a song. But I kind of like to like visualize like a picture, just like a made up picture of like a scene or something that's like happening, like a heartbreaking scene or like something like that, you know.
Yeah.
So usually it's like from my head.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it's interesting to see, the amount of mediums, like the profound impact that they can have, and
Mm.
kind of going off of that a little bit. Are there any other particular mediums that have a lasting impact on you while you're making music or writing, whether it be music or different forms of art or
Mm.
film?
I think film's dope. I don't like a ton of movies, but like if I watch a movie, I remember like I I didn't really like the movie Wicked that much, but I kind of liked the soundtrack. I went and saw it, and like I came home, and I'm like really inspired by like super like orchestral and like pretty stuff. So like I remember making a song right after that, trying to like copy a little bit, like take inspiration from those melodies and stuff.
Yeah.
Hmm.
In this music, again, it has this very dreamlike, feature to it. And I guess in addition to, Broadway music, are there any kind of unorthodox or kind of unrelated sources of inspiration that you kind of draw from that you
Mm.
wouldn't really expect?
Um, I like lullabies. I like thinking about like my mom singing to me or something, like trying to like kind of like replicate some like lullaby like melodies, I guess. Just kind of like something sweet and like touching and melancholic. So
Hmm.
yeah.
And how is this like kind of creating that sound in the studio? What was the process of kind of getting to where you are now? Were there any particular instruments that you experimented with that you liked more than others, or what was that like?
So I went to a music school for piano. So I mostly just like play piano, and I learned that self-taught. My dad like showed me chords, but yeah, I just kind of like ever since I was 11, just kind of learning chords, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you kind of have the same philosophy towards teaching others, or you just kind of like do it and just kind of try it out, or yeah, what's
Uh,
that? Yeah.
I definitely want to teach others way more than I was taught. Like if I have kids, I want to like really help them. But yeah, I I don't want to leave anyone in the dust. So I'll teach anybody if they want help for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And see, tell me more about what it was like to be at this music school. Did you do that for a couple years, and what were kind of like the lasting connections that you made within that environment?
Okay. Yeah. It was cool. It was art school, so there was like theater kids and visual artists too. So it was like really crazy a little bit. There was a lot of like cosplay walking around and stuff. That was pretty cool, I guess. It was pretty funny, but mostly it was fun. It was fun. I got to play music for like 2 hours a day and just chill with my friends. It was really good. Yeah.
Yeah. And were there any specific instructors that really kind of pushed you towards creating music, or was anybody stand out during your experience?
Um, there was this one guy named Mr. Vosich who was a really good teacher there. he's like going on to teach like at like like he's gonna be a professor at like a music school. So shout out him.
Sweet. Well, thank you again for coming into the studio. Do you have any last minute messages to share with the audiences?
Um, keep doing yourself.
Sweet. Thank you very much.